Hello everyone, welcome to the BBBS Independent PU College, Vidyagiri Bagalkot, Chemistry Online Classes. So this is Rakesh C. Dhamji and today we discuss about some basics about acid and base. As you all are familiar with the term acid, then the question comes in a mind, which type of substances are said to be an acid? Because there are different kinds of substances that you can observe in your surroundings. So what kind of substance is said to be an acid? What are the conditions for an substance which is considered to be an acid? That we should know. So what is an acid? The acid is a substance which is having the pH less than 7 and it has a property to neutralize base and forms H plus ions in solution and corrosive, that means whenever it is dropped on the skin it will burns the skin or it gives the irritation sensation. So it is corrosive in nature and reacts with most metals to form hydrogen gas. That means whenever an acid is reacted with a metals like iron, cobalt, nickel, zinc, etc. along with the formation of salt, it will liberates the hydrogen gas. And these acids can also act as good conductors of electricity because they forms free ions in the solution. So if a substance possesses these characteristics, then it is considered to be an acid. So this is how we can see the formation of ions when dissolved in water. Here I have considered an example of nitric acid. When this nitric acid is dissolved in H2O, that is water, it will form H3O plus ions. H3O plus means hydronium ions along with the liberation of nitrogen trioxide gas. Then in acids only we can observe two types. Those are weak acids and strong acids. So most of the substances all are not having the same power. Some of the acids are very weak and some of the acids are very strong. So what does those weak acids and strong acids means? The weak acids are those which does not ionize completely in the water. So whenever they are present in aqueous solution, aqueous means water. So when the acids are dissolved in water, if they do not ionize completely, that means they will undergo incomplete dissociation or incomplete ionization, then such substances are said to be weak acids. The examples of weak acids are acetic acid, boric acid, nitrous acid, phosphoric acid, sulfurous acid. Then the strong acids are those acids or substances which ionizes completely when dissolved in water. That means they will undergo complete dissociation. And the examples of strong acids are hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydroiodic acid, etc. Some of the common acids that we use in our day-to-day life are HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, HC2H3O2, that is acetic acid, H2CO3, H3PO4. These are the acids which are very important in our day-to-day life. Along with these acids, there are still many acids which plays an important role in our day-to-day life. So here I have mentioned only some of the acids which we observe in our daily life. So hydrochloric acid, HCl, it is present in stomach. It is also known as stomach acid. That means it is liberated or it is secreted by the gastric glands which are present in our stomach. So which helps in the digestion process and kills the microorganisms or bacteria which enters into the body. Then another important acid is H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, which is also known as king of acids. So this acid is mainly used in car batteries. So while recharging batteries, car batteries, you may heard of battery acid, that is nothing but sulfuric acid. And the third one is HNO3, that is nitric acid, which is mainly used as an explosives. So in the preparation of explosives like bombs, okay, there we can use the nitric acid. Then another one is acetic acid, CS3COOH, which is used as vinegar. Particular proportion of acetic acid and water forms vinegar, which gives or provides taste to the food, which is mostly used for the preparation of fast foods, which gives taste to those foods. Then another one is carbonic acid, H2CO3, that is mainly used in sodas. That is when water reacts with CO2, carbon dioxide gas, it forms carbonic acid, which will forms a soda. Then the another one is H3PO4, phosphoric acid, which is used for flavorings. Okay, to give a particular flavor to the particular food, it will be used as flavoring for phosphoric acid. So these are certain common acids that we can observe in our daily life. Then the another term is base. So what does this base means? This base is a substance which is having the pH greater than 7. For acid, the pH is lesser than 7, and for base, the pH is greater than 7. And whenever you touch that base, it gives the feeling of slippery. Okay, so whenever you touch the base, it then your fingers or hands becomes slippery. And also the base is used to dissolve fats and oils. In the preparation of soaps, the base is used because it dissolves fats and oils. Then usually the base forms OH minus ions. Those are hydroxyl ions in solution. And one of the important character of base is it neutralizes acids. Okay, so when acids reacts with bases, they will form a salt plus water, which is a neutral product. So it neutralizes the acids. Then weak bases versus strong bases. So weak base is the one which again undergo incomplete dissociation or do not undergo ionization, complete ionization. And some of the examples of weak bases are ammonia, potassium carbonate, sodium carbonate. And strong bases are those which undergo complete dissociation. Some of the examples are sodium hydroxide, sodium phosphate, barium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, etc. Then some common bases. Those are sodium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. So where it is used? Sodium hydroxide, it is mainly used in the preparation of soaps and drain cleaners. And magnesium hydroxide is used as an antacid. That means it neutralizes the acid which is secreted in the stomach, which is usually known as acidity. During the acidity problems, the bases are used to neutralize that acid which is secreted in stomach, and that substance used to neutralize the acid is magnesium hydroxide. Hence, it is said to be antacid. And aluminum hydroxide, it is also used as antacids as well as deodorants. And ammonium hydroxide, it is used in the preparation of ammonia. So in the picture you can observe some of the important products which are formed from the bases. Then types of acids and bases. There are different types of acids and bases, and some of the types of acids and bases are given here. In 1800, the chemical concepts were based on the reactions of aqueous solutions. Arrhenius is the scientist who developed the concept of acids and bases. So Arrhenius acid means it is an substance which produces hydrogen ions in water. And in the similar manner, Arrhenius base is a substance which produces hydroxide ions in water. And also after this, since most of the substances does not contain hydrogen, it is little bit modified and developed, and again a new definition for the acids is given by Bronsted and Lowry. According to their theory, Bronsted-Lowry acid is a substance which donates hydrogen ion in a reaction. If hydrogen ion is donated by a substance in a reaction, then it is said to be Bronsted-Lowry acid. If a substance accepts a hydrogen during a reaction, then such type of substance is considered to be Bronsted-Lowry base. Along with that, there are some other acids and bases types. Those are conjugate acid and conjugate base. So conjugate acid means when compound is formed when an base gains a hydrogen ion, then it is said to be conjugate acid. And conjugate base means a compound formed when an acid loses a hydrogen ion. So whenever an acid loses a hydrogen ion, it becomes a base, and hence it is known as conjugate base. And when a base gains hydrogen ion, it becomes acid, and such type of acid is said to be conjugate acid. About these acids you will learn in detail in first PUC. So just remember the definitions of these kinds of acids. Then pH. As we all know, the strength of an acid is calculated with the help of one scale, that is pH. The pH is negative logarithm of H plus ions concentration. So here are some pH values which is given for certain substances. Okay, lemon juice, wine, rain, human blood, baking soda, detergent, bleach. What is the value of their pH? It is represented in this chart. Then pH of common substances, that is also given. So HCl, gastric juice, vinegar, orange, apple juice, all these things are given. Just go through these things. And reactions with indicators. So certain substances have ability to show the color change in acid and in base. Those indicators which are given here are phenolphthalein, bromothymol blue and litmus. So phenolphthalein, when it is added in acid, the color will remain colorless. And in neutral color, the color will be faint pink. Okay, means light pink. And in base, when you add the phenolphthalein, it gives dark pink. And bromothymol blue, it gives yellow color in acid, and when it is added to the neutral compound, it gives green color, and when it is added to the base, it gives blue color. And the another one is litmus paper, which gives red color in acid and turns to blue in base. So by using these indicators, you can predict whether the given compound is acidic or basic or neutral. So this is the pH paper, which used to indicate the color change. Then buffers. While doing certain reactions, we have to maintain certain conditions. In particular conditions only the reactions will take place. For that, we have to maintain the temperature, pressure during that reaction. Along with that, in certain reactions, there is a necessity of maintaining the change in the pH value. Means a constant pH value should be maintained during the reaction. In order to do that, when we mix up the acid and base, there will be chance of changing in the pH values, and that change in pH value should be avoided. And for that reason, we add certain substances which does not allow these substances to change the pH of the compound. Such substances or solutions which are added to resist the change in the pH are said to be buffers. So buffer is a solution that resists the changes in the pH when small amounts of acids and bases are added during the reaction. So situations in which pH is controlled. So one is heartburn. As usually it is known as acidity. During that acidity, the sensation of heart burning will be observed, and during that the pH has been altered, which is to be controlled by adding base. And planting vegetables and flowers, the pH of the soil is to be maintained in order to grow the vegetables and flowers in order to give more yield. And in fish tanks and ponds also we have to maintain the pH. It should not be more basic or more acidic. And also in blood we have to maintain the pH, and in swimming pools also the pH should be maintained. So how does the acids and bases in solution forms ions? So when HCl reacts with the water, okay, it will form H3O plus and Cl minus. H3O plus is hydronium ion. So here one note is given, that is, as the number of hydronium ions increases, the solution will be more acidic. Remember this. So greater the number of hydronium ions, more will be the acidic solution. Then NaOH in water, that is sodium hydroxide. So it gives the Na plus and OH minus. And again the note is given that more hydroxide ions formed, more basic will be the solution. And when a base and acid, okay, it is a acid and it is a base. So NaOH is a base and HCl is a acid. So when they react with each other, they will form a neutral product, that is NaCl and water. And another one is NH3 and H2O, ammonia and water, which is a gas and water. So which forms ammonium and hydroxide ions. So it yields ammonium and hydroxide ions. So these are certain reactions of acids and bases in solutions. One of the basic disadvantage of change in the pH value in the solution leads to the acid rain. So acid rain, it is one of the disadvantage of the reaction of gases in the solution. So as the sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, so these kinds of gases, when they enter into the water during raining, they will react with the water and forms the acidic solution, and that rain is said to be acid rain. It is due to the pollution in the air. So pollution in the air, it combines with water to form various acids. So one of the example is given here, and it affects the human beings as well as the other living organisms including the plants. So this is all about the acids and bases. So remember about the basics of the acid and base, which is very helpful in first PUC to study in detail about these acids and bases. Thank you.